And we start off with breaking news. The National Weather Service has now confirmed that it was indeed a tornado that tore through a 1-mile area of this Pico Rivera residential neighborhood. Joining me now live, Dr. Ariel Cohen, meteorologist with the National Weather Service. You walked the entire area. We're talking about 80 yards or more to determine, and you made that determination it was a tornado.
Exactly. What we saw was a damage pattern consistent with what we see with a small, brief, weak tornado that occurred. While brief, it was still damaging. And many folks here experienced some very significant damage to their residences. Our hearts go out to everyone who was impacted by these storms. And on behalf of the National Weather Service, we have confirmed that indeed around 3:15 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, a tornado did impact Pico Rivera, bringing winds approximately 85 miles per hour over a length of approximately 1 mile, 80 yards wide. We call this an enhanced Fujita EF0 tornado. It's at an upper end of the lowest rating level of tornadoes. Still one that is damaging.
And we say 2 minutes. That sounds so fast. But actually, when you're in the middle of a tornado, even an EF0, that can be very scary. And you can see all this damage that we're seeing in this neighborhood.
Exactly. Some of the folks here described this as it all sounded like an explosion. It's a terrifying experience, very damaging. And so it's very important that folks be very closely monitoring the latest information. The National Weather Service, the team of incredible meteorologists and other staff and professionals that I lead at the National Weather Service are very closely working together to ensure that everyone is up to date with the latest information. We were talking about the potential for tornadoes days in advance. And when you hear that in the forecast as a possibility for tornadoes, you got to be ready to get in, get down, and cover up to make sure that you and your families are safe. Because when these tornadoes strike, they come up very quickly and go away just as fast.
So what do people do, Doctor? Because obviously you've been telling me that tornadoes are not that uncommon here, that we have all the elements you need for a tornado in the Los Angeles basin, which might come as a surprise to many of us.
Exactly. We have some of the highest tornado frequencies in the state right here in the Los Angeles basin that actually rival portions of the Midwest. Now, they're still uncommon, relatively speaking, but they do happen. They're typically small, brief, and weak. But when they do happen, they are damaging. And so the main message is that we don't want people to be scared. We want people to be prepared. Have multiple ways to get weather information. When you're hearing about storms in the forecast, and when we're talking about the potential for tornadoes, as we did with this system days in advance, think about where you would go. Make sure you get indoors. Get on the lowest floor of your home or business. Make sure that you stay away from windows. Have as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Have blankets and pillows to cover your head and body from flying debris, and keep you and your family safe.
And I asked you, and I think a lot of folks might wonder, you said that our tornado patterns can rival the Midwest, but we don't have all the elements necessary to see those major tornadoes. We're talking about those EF4s, those EF5s.
Exactly. Typically, tornadoes in the LA basin, while they are more frequent than elsewhere in California, still rare, relatively speaking, they don't reach the intensities that we see in the Great Plains and Midwest because we don't have the same ingredients that come together given the cool Pacific Ocean waters and the current just offshore. So that causes there to be weakening or weaker tornadoes compared to elsewhere.
Dr. Ariel Cohen with the National Weather Service. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you for coming out here and confirming that. You heard it here. It was indeed a tornado that tore through Pico Rivera, a 1-mile swath at about 3:15 this morning, and the city already estimating there are tens of thousands of dollars in damage. I'm Gigi Gracia. We'll send it back to you.
You can see how impactful that damage is. It's not just from a thunderstorm or rain. It was really severe in that area. All right, Gigi, thank you for that latest update that, in fact, a tornado did touch down in Pico Rivera.